I promise you, you are not prepared for Furious. If you've ever imagined what would happen if David Lynch and Alejandro Jodorowsky suffered irreversible brain damage and then were asked to collaborate on a 1980s martial arts film, then look no further, as this film is probably the closest you'll ever get. During the 1980s, the Ree brothers were two accomplished martial artists operating their own dojos in Southern California who were aspiring to break into the film industry. Meanwhile, hapless film school graduates Tim Everett and Tom Sartori were working on a plan to produce a cheap action movie to sell to a distributor to get their names out there as filmmakers. Fate brought these two pairs of dreamers together, and thus the most incomprehensible piece of martial arts cinema was born. Allegedly shot in just 6 days with a script that was cobbled together in even less time, Furious truly is one for the record books. I shouldn't even attempt to sum up the plot too thoroughly here. The movie is barely 70 minutes in length, and it doesn't exactly follow a conventional 3-act structure. Basically, the film opens with this martial arts woman fleeing from a group of men covered in animal furs. She uses a magical tusk as some sort of compass, pointing her I don't know where, but while engaged in combat with the head furman, she drops the compass, which the furman then steals. Finally, the furman delivers a fatal blow to our kung fu heroine. Her brother, Simon, played by Simon Ree, is mourning her death at his home, which is on the grounds of some sort of dojo for children. The furman shows up and delivers an invitation to see Master Chan, an elderly kung fu wizard who conducts martial arts experiments in a high-tech facility. Despite being an old man, Master Chan is portrayed by Simon Ree's real-life younger brother, Philip. Master Chan tells Simon some nonsense about his journey and repaying the karmic debt of his sister, and with that, we are off to the races. Simon begins his journey towards something which is made up predominantly of absolutely surreal and mind-melting fight sequences. After defeating the furman, he meets up with Master Chan again, who tells him that his sister's death has been avenged, and it's now time for Simon to return to his peaceful home life. After some meditation in the hills of LA County, a tiny Buddha statue tells our hero what we've known all along, that Master Chan was responsible for the death of Simon's sister. Simon now restarts his campaign of nonsensical punching and kicking to get his revenge on Chan. This is a little more plot than I typically give in these reviews, but trust me, it is not the story of this film that makes it so unique and entertaining. This movie is just a constant assault of the strangest, most unpredictable fight scenes ever caught on film. My personal favorites are the two restaurant scenes from the first half of the film, both outside the restaurant and then later inside the restaurant. So bizarre and unhinged are these scenes, they have both stuck in my head since I first saw this film some years ago, and yet simultaneously surprised me every time I've watched them since. There are so many tiny moments and characters and shots and scenes in this movie that are beyond description that if I tried to sum them all up here, this video would be far too long. From the recurring motifs of chickens and pigs, the team of Simon's friends that show up for just one scene, the score, which sounds like it was stolen from a 1950s mystery movie, there really isn't a single thing in this sub-70-minute film that is not worth commenting on. Quite simply, this one needs to be seen to be believed. Worth noting that while so many of these independent curiosities are often the beginning and the end of their creators' careers, the four main forces behind this masterpiece all went on to have successful careers in their own right. The Ree brothers both ended up successfully transitioning to Hollywood, with Simon in particular having a very impressive resume as a stuntman. And as for the directors, Tim Everett became an accomplished visual effects artist, while Tom Sartori became a colorist responsible for coloring nearly every episode of Seinfeld. Apparently, I am not the only one who thinks this movie is this transcendent, as the DVD commands a ludicrously high price on the internet. Thankfully, the entire thing has been uploaded to YouTube with picture quality comparable to that of the DVD release. There are some bonus features on the DVD, but none that I think warrant plunking down the $100 price tag to take home, although hearing some behind-the-scenes stories from Tim Everett certainly adds some interesting and humorous context to the film. Let me know what you thought of this one if you check it out, and if there's anything you'd like to hear me review in the future. Thank you for watching, and check out my channel for some other reviews of horror and exploitation films from around the world.